I don't know if you can hear the moisture in it. Well, good afternoon, guys. Back from the garden, planted some more asparagus beans, and we watered in, and the garden is looking phenomenal. Next week, we'll take you through a garden tour, and we'll show you everything that is growing and how well everything is doing. Most of the plants are doing really well, even the ones that got stunted. The peppers are taking a little bit of time to recover, but hopefully by next week, they'll be doing a whole lot better. But tomorrow and the next day are going to be super busy for Frank and I. He has a follow-up with his doctors, and we have to drive 3 towns away. I had to think about that. 3 towns away to get to his doctor's appointment. So in order to make my future self happier with dinner, I am actually going to make a crock pot chili. It's called a 2-bean corn chili. So let me show you all the ingredients and how to put this together. It's super easy. You will need your crock pot. You'll also need 1 can or 1 cup of dried beans that has been rehydrated. These are my black beans, and I've rehydrated these. Navy beans, I don't have any, so I am using kidney beans. 1 cup and 1 cup. If you're not doing dried, it's 1 16-ounce can of black beans and 1 16-ounce can of navy beans, whatever beans you want to use. We're going to have 1 onion. I've already got my onion chopped, but you're going to chop your onion. 1 cup of water, 1 cup of fresh, frozen, or canned corn. I'm going to use cream corn. Corn is actually rough on Frank's mouth. So I'm actually going to blend this so that we have the flavor of the corn, but not necessarily all the kernels. 1 can of diced tomatoes. And I have the petite diced tomatoes that also has sweet onions in it, so I won't have to put as many onions. You will want a 1/2 cup of tomato paste. And you will want a can of green chilies or jalapenos. We're going to use green chilies. The spices you're going to need is salt and pepper, 2 teaspoons of chili powder, but I don't have already made chili powder, so I'm actually going to create my own. And how you make your own chili powder is paprika, onion, garlic, oregano, ground cumin, and crushed red pepper that I'm going to use my coffee grinder to make it into a powder so that it adds a little heat. I'm also going to add just a small amount of, they call it prepared mustard, but mine is mustard powder, and it's 1 teaspoon of this. If you're going to use chili powder, it's 2 teaspoons of chili powder. I'm going to create my chili powder in another container, and then I'm going to add the 2 teaspoons in. Now let's get putting all this together. So to assemble this, I now got my corn all blended up. Got a bag of onions that are already pre-sliced. I had gotten a whole bunch of onions on a really great deal, so I processed a whole bunch of onions. So I'm just going to put the sliced onions. They're not, you can dice them. I just sliced these. 1 cup of water. Your 1 cup of beans, or 16 ounces of beans. And then your other can. 1 can of diced tomatoes. A can of tomato paste. I usually have dried tomato paste, but I used it all up, so I am forced to buy a can. I will for sure be making dried tomato paste this fall when all my tomatoes come in. Super excited about that. Gonna put in 1 can of either whole, fresh, or canned corn. Again, my husband can't handle the corn kernels solid, so I'm pureeing it so we have the corn flavor. 1 can of either jalapenos or roasted chilies. And now we're going to put in 2 teaspoons of chili powder. This is my homemade chili powder. There's lots of recipes out on how to make homemade chili powder. There's 1, 2, 1 teaspoon of powdered mustard, 1/2 teaspoon of ground cumin, and 1/4 teaspoon of oregano, dried oregano. We will give this all a nice stir. If you want to add ground beef into this, you totally can. Now you'll put the lid on and you will set it on high for 4 to 5 hours or low for 8 to 10 hours. I'm going to put it on high. We're going to have a little bit of it for dinner tonight, and I'll let you know what it tastes like. That's how easy it is to make the 2-bean corn chili. All right, so it's been several hours and it's finally done, so let's give this thing a taste. Got a little ladle. Put a little in the bowl. I got some shredded cheese here. Oh, and I forgot the most important thing. A little sour cream. A little dollop of sour cream. Give this a stir. It looks so good. Let's give it a taste. Look at this onion. Wow. This is really good. If I had made one change, I would probably put a little jalapeno in this. There's not a lot of heat in it, but it's so good. It's really good. So, for dessert, and I have promised several of you guys, gluten-free mug cake. I pre-make this and put it into a jar with a lid. So I'll tell you the ingredients. I'll also leave a written recipe at the end of this video and also in the description box. So in order to make the container of powdered mug cake, you'll do a 1/2 cup of gluten-free flour. It doesn't matter, just any kind of flour. I used the Winco bulk gluten-free flour. A 1/2 cup of sugar. If you don't want to use real sugar, you can use monk fruit. You can also use stevia, whatever your choice, just a 1/2 cup. 1/4 cup of cocoa powder. And you want the pure cocoa powder, not the one, not like the Nestle Quick hot chocolate mix, the pure hot cocoa or pure cocoa powder. A 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. And you'll also want to add a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. And then 1/8 teaspoon of salt. That all goes for this powdered mix. Now to make it into a mug cake, you will add 3 tablespoons of milk, 3 tablespoons of oil, and 4 tablespoons of your powder. And you will microwave this for 2 minutes. Take it out. Make sure that it's done. If it's not quite done, you can add another 10 seconds. I actually need 2 minutes and 10 seconds for my microwave, but I would recommend starting off at 2. So let's mix this up and give it a taste. Okay, so I have my mug, my measuring cup, 3 tablespoons of oil, 3 tablespoons of milk. I'm not sure if you could use a dairy-free version of milk. I haven't tried, but you could always try. Let me get a little spoon. Actually, I got a fork. I'm going to stir up the milk and the oil. And then 4 tablespoons of your cake mix. Give this a stir. Mix it up really, really well. It'll be kind of thick. You want to make sure all of the flour hydrates. So you don't want to rush this. You also do not want to double this in the mug. It will overflow. I'm having a feeling that this mug might not be big enough for this, but we'll find out. I usually do it in a larger mug. This is the mug I normally do it in, so it's a little bit taller, not much. Okay. It should be real thick. Okay. Now I'm going to microwave this for 2 minutes, and then I'm going to check to see if it's done. If not, then I'll run it for another 10 seconds, and that's usually how long it takes. Okay, so fresh out of the microwave, it is screaming hot. That's what it looks like. What I do is, as I'm cooking it, when I hit about 1:90, I will pull the cake to the side. Once I don't see any more oil in the bottom of it, it is done. So as you can see, it's soft, but it's also, as you can see, the steam is coming out screaming hot. So let this cool off for about 5 minutes, and then we'll be back to taste it. Got me a little glass of milk. Here is the mug cake. It is super soft. It's still hot, but it's so soft it's not dry. I don't know if you can hear the moisture in it. Super moist. Every time I make this, I can never wait for it to cool off. I always eat this stuff hot. So guys, you gotta try this mug cake. This chocolate, deep chocolate mug cake. So very, very good. So guys, if you enjoyed these recipes, both the corn bean chili and this mug cake recipe, please give me a thumbs up. If you're on YouTube, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. If you're here on Facebook, go ahead and hit a follow. And if you want to help support my channel, go ahead and send me some stars. Each star is just a penny. It doesn't cost a whole lot of money, but it helps support my channel and helps me create these videos for you guys. So until the next upload, bye.